Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping right into a really moving narrative that tackles something so many of us have faced or know someone who has. We're talking about the painful, everyday reality of being bullied. But we're looking at it through a really unique lens. We're going to see how a modern-day struggle can actually be totally transformed by a timeless historical lesson about self-worth. So let's just dive right in and uncover the incredible journey of a young boy who learns to fight his battles, not with anger, but with a completely different kind of weapon.
So part 1, Sam's struggle.
Our story kicks off with a young boy named Sam. And Sam is facing this daily, just absolutely exhausting battle at school. He's dealing with these relentless taunts. Kids are throwing insults at him like, "Hey baby penguin," or "Hey grasshopper." They're literally calling him tiny and making jokes that his school bag is bigger than he is. And you can imagine, the emotional toll here is just heavy. Feeling totally powerless against all this mockery, Sam finally breaks down to his mom, and he asks this truly heartbreaking question. "Mom, my height is short, so what is my fault in this?"
And honestly, that leads us right to a really crucial question. Does being short actually mean being weak? Well, Sam's mother steps in here with some pretty profound wisdom. She tells him point blank that true weakness, it isn't found on the outside. True weakness is on the inside. A person's physical stature has absolutely zero to do with their inner strength. And to really drive this home, she shares this incredible historical story about a man who faced a very similar insecurity, but found some massive inner power.
Which brings us to part 2, the story of Zacchaeus. Sam's mom takes him back thousands of years to the ancient city of Jericho. She introduces him to this wealthy, powerful chief tax collector named Zacchaeus. Now, let's look at his reality. Externally, the guy had immense riches, but he was also physically small in stature. Internally, though, his reality was incredibly bleak. Despite having all that money, his heart was just completely empty. And because of his profession as a tax collector, the public deeply disrespected him. He was totally isolated. So he had all this wealth, right? But he had no peace and absolutely no true community.
But then, everything flips in this really incredible sequence of events. When Jesus enters Jericho, Zacchaeus desperately wants to see him. But he's short, so he can't see over this hostile, mocking crowd. So what does he do? He literally runs ahead and climbs up a sycamore tree just to get a glimpse. And in a total plot twist, Jesus stops right under that exact tree, calls Zacchaeus out by name, and actually asks to stay at his house. Feeling seen and valued for maybe the first time in his life, Zacchaeus completely transforms. He repents, he gives half of all his wealth to the poor, and he repays his debts 4 times over. His heart is completely healed.
Now, this brilliantly illustrates exactly why Sam's mom chose this specific story. The parallel here is undeniable. On one side, we have Sam, a modern kid bullied for his height, feeling helpless and isolated. And on the other, Zacchaeus, an ancient tax collector, also short in stature, mocked by the crowds and feeling totally empty inside. The core emotional experience of feeling less than, just because of how the world looks at you, that bridges the gap between these two completely different eras perfectly.
Moving on to part 3, the teachings of Jesus.
Through this historical parallel, Sam's mother manages to shift his focus entirely. She tells him, Jesus didn't look at Zacchaeus' height, he looked at his heart. She assures Sam that he isn't small at all, he is priceless. And Sam realizes that divine love measures us by the capacity of our hearts, not by inches on a ruler. It's a beautiful thought, right? But while he's definitely comforted, Sam still has this very real, very practical fear. He asks, what happens if the bullies tease me again tomorrow?
So that night, seeking some help, Sam prays. And according to the story, he finds this deep, spiritual clarity in one profound teaching. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. He feels this strong calling to just ignore the insults and focus entirely on doing good to the exact people who are hurting him. Talk about a game changer. Sam is handed this ultimate, incredibly challenging strategy. He's not being told to fight back with more insults, he's being told to fight back with goodness.
Let's see how that plays out in part 4, the triumph of good.
Because, hearing a philosophy is one thing, but actually applying it in real life, that is a whole different ballgame. The very next day, the stage is set for the ultimate test of character. Rahul, this is the main bully who'd been tormenting Sam, calling him a penguin, stealing his bench. He suddenly finds himself in a really desperate spot. Right before a massive, crucial exam, Rahul realizes he forgot his pencil. And no one in the class is willing to help him out. Suddenly, this big, powerful bully is completely vulnerable.
So what does Sam do? He remembers the lesson. He immediately steps up and offers Rahul's extra pencil. and Rahul is just absolutely stunned by this unexpected kindness. In that exact moment, receiving grace instead of revenge, Rahul remembers all those cruel things he said to Sam, and this huge wave of guilt washes over him. By simply handing over a pencil, Sam completely disarms his bully. The cycle of cruelty is broken right there, and Rahul, deeply moved by this, actually asks to become Sam's friend. Sam says yes, literally turning his enemy into a companion.
And honestly, that brings us right to our final and maybe most powerful question of this explainer. Can you bring change with the balm of love? The source material leaves us with this truly beautiful thought that love is like a balm. It's capable of healing even the largest wounds inflicted by evil, sometimes in just a matter of moments. Sam chose to forgive, he chose to help his persecutor, and he witnessed an immediate transformation. So, as we wrap things up today, I want you to think about your own life. Who are the people testing your patience right now? And what would happen if you chose not to be overcome by evil, but to overcome it with good? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope you carry this lesson with you.